With listening comes the space of evoking of awareness. That's competency 7. And competency 7, too often many people imagine competency 7 as just asking questions. It's not. In fact, it says this evoking of awareness, where it facilitates clients' insight and learning by using tools, techniques such as powerful questioning, silence, metaphors, or analogy. The key word is such as. This is not just the only way. Questions are not the only tool. There's silence, there's metaphors, there's comments, there's thoughts, there's spaces, there's responses, there's feedback. There's so many different tools that can facilitate insight and learning. Evoking of awareness is not forced awareness, but is in supporting the awareness that's emerging. And the way that happens is when we listen better. With active listening, there can be better way of us facilitating that insights and learning. And one of the little enhancement that happened is in 7.11. The only shift is in previously in 7.11 or the subcompetency 7.11. It says this shares observations, insights, and feelings without attachment that have the potential to create new learning for the client. And now it says this shares observations, knowledge, and feelings without attachment that have the potential to create new insights for the client. So this knowledge is something very powerful, which I will spend a little more time on separate video to talk a little bit about how coaches can support the client. Especially for coaches who have many years of experience or expertise or maybe experiences in their life or in the industry they're from, and how can they integrate those in the coaching conversation? Can coaches share some things from their own experiences, or must they leave it purely to the client? How do we approach that? Okay, so that will be for a whole nother series, which will take more than this particular episode for me to go deeper into. But needless to say, that the role of a coach is not just asking questions. You are allowed to share observations, feelings, knowledge without attachment. And the keyword here is without attachment. That has the potential to create new insights. And one of the everyday application is to be able to ask open, expansive questions, to expand, explore, expand new thoughts, new ways of seeing things, and draw insights rather than forcing awareness down. And sharing observations without attachment, highlighting patterns and strengths, and supporting reframing perspectives. And so one of the key idea of evoking awareness is that awareness is evoked and not forced. When done well, curiosity is expansive, which means it creates more awareness. It evokes more things. It creates more curiosity. And it's not leading. I'm not leading the client to a certain way of thinking, but it just expands the conversational space. Coach offers more transparency, lightly inviting the client exploration, and coach owns awareness, pause, reflections, and reframes, and the patterns integrated where the coach connects across time. So we use all these different tools because I'm aware of my own awareness. I may use pause, reflections, reframes to support a client for emerging new and expanded ways of thinking, feeling, and behaving in a context. And again, all this have to align back to the client's intended outcome. For example, the coach could say, I noticed that when you talk about your leadership, your tone dropped. What did you notice there? And I like to say this, that awareness is not handed over, it is grown in the soil of presence. So, like listening, listening is from presence. Evoking of awareness is from the place of listening. So, to be able to evoke deeper awareness, I need to listen better. To listen better, I need to have better presence in that moment. To have better presence, my trust with the client, the cultivation of trust and safety of the client must be there, must be strong. And most coaches, when they struggle with this competency, is when they enter in the space of interrogation. Too many forceful questions. They may use the word so. So you're saying is this? So is that? So is that? So is this? Why you like this? So too many forceful questions that may lead the client feeling like they're in interrogation, or there's too much attachment to the coach's own perspective, especially for coaches who have very, very much positive or powerful experiences in the past. They may impose this experience on the clients or force awareness. Sometimes the client parrots the coach ideas without realizing that it might not work for them, right? Because sometimes some clients may want to appease the coaches, so they just take on, or they believe whatever the coach's words say must be true, so they agree immediately. So sometimes I resist sharing first until I know where the client is at. Because sometimes I know that in the client coach relationship, the client may tend to just believe 100% of what the coach shares and ideas and just take it, but not realizing that that might not work for them. Another thing to consider is avoid immediacy, skipping what's alive now. For example, one of the key struggle is that we want to quickly work on it, solve it, solution it, results it, but not taking time to explore it. The space of coaching, it's not rush solutions, not rush actions, but first getting clarity. Action, solutions, results will come, but they will come when the clarity is there. And oftentimes I say this: awareness imposed is awareness lost. Awareness imposed is awareness lost.